Yo, what's happening? Thank you for tuning in to the Lions Roar vlog. We are on Genesis chapter 4. Chapter 3 is an hour and a half. I know that's long, but look, I'm going to tell y'all this in the first 30 seconds of this video. It's so good. If you got to listen to it in sections, listen to it in sections. It's good. It definitely will get you thinking, and it definitely will open up dialogue. Go listen to it. I'm going to try to not have these things be that long. I'm kind of taking advantage of the fact that YouTube is used to it and I could go in. So I'm still going to try and have these things be around like 30 to 45 minutes because when I was on YouTube before, that was the sweet spot. All right. So for the long form videos, that was the sweet spot. All right. So we're on chapter 4, Cain murdering Abel. Let's get into it. Now the man knew his wife Eve, and she conceived and bore Cain. I have produced, Cain's name means I have produced, or the verb resembles the word for Cain. So there's a verb in the Hebrew that resembled the word, it would have resembled the word Cain. And that word Cain, Cain came from that word, okay? That's just like what I said with the word Eve. In Hebrew, Eve, E-V-E, resembles the word for living. So Eve is not the name. It's just that's the name that the English use because it resembled a word. So when we study, we have to know this. So this is why the whole last chapter, everything that I just went into over the last chapter, how I got to talk about Adam and Eve probably was not in a physical, literal human state. They were probably in a different state in their evolutionary process. Yeah, you probably should go listen to that chapter because it gets crazy. I'm just saying. So we gotta look. Cain is part of a word that means produced. Okay, production or birth or life. Like I produced the life. Okay, so that's why Cain. Was his name Cain? No. We just proved that. We just said that. But when we're dealing with okay, for instance, the movie Nope, N-O-P-E, very good movie. If you haven't seen it, you should. The movie Nope, in that movie, I forget my man's name. The head character who's playing alongside of Keke Palmer, I think his name is like Daniel something. He names the being in the movie Jean Jacket because they had to have a name for the being because the being they kept just calling it and him or her or that thing, that bama, that thing. So he said, we gonna call it Jean Jacket because he was a horse trainer in the movie and that's what they did with the horses. So this is the same energy that you got here with the English. Remember, we are reading English translated scriptures. Used to be the Latin Vulgate. Remember, the English translated their scriptures from the Latin Vulgate and other Hebrew sources, but it was the Latin Vulgate first. The Latin Vulgate was the first one that was the first translation from Hebrew into a different translation. That's them Roman Catholics. Okay? That's the Vulgate has the apocryphal books in it because they were part of the scrolls. They didn't know to take them out. They wouldn't have thought to take them out. They didn't have a reason. Only the English was on that. So Cain is not his name, and we know that. So let's keep going. But we're just going to use the name Cain because it makes reference to the first man and the first woman had a son, and this particular son was on some trip junk. And the reason why he was on some trip junk was because of what we just dealt with in the previous chapter, which you definitely should go listen to, because if I start talking about it here, this video is going to be an hour and a half too, and this video is probably only about to be about 30 minutes, for real. So, let's go. He says, I have produced a man with the help of the Most High. So that's the name Cain came out of whatever that phrase would have made that, that phrase meant that, made reference to that. Okay, so next she bore his brother Abel. Now Abel was a keeper of the sheep, and Cain a tiller of the ground. So Abel was a shepherd, and Cain was a gardener. In the course of time, Cain brought to the Most High an offering of the fruit of the ground. And Abel, for his part, brought of the firstlings of his flock. Or meaning that they just brought that and it was good, okay? So not necessarily, because remember, right now, we don't have no offerings. We don't have nothing that says that they had to. It's just meant that this was the fruit of their work, which is still is done unto the Most High, because this is how the Hebrews do it. So Abel, for his part, brought of the firstlings of his flock their fat portions, because they would bring that to the family, or they would bring that to the assembly. That's something that has been part of the generations forever. If you're going to have a gathering, we about to cook. Let's go get that best china. Let's go bring that best food out, right? We're not going to give you the worst. So that was something that's part of them, okay? And that's what it's saying for the Most High. It's not an offering yet, okay? But it just means that, it was meant to be good, okay? It could be perceived to be good, accepted or not, or maybe depending on how that thing is used, maybe they may feel like, well, God is allowing this thing to be used for the best or not, So let's keep moving. And the Most High had regard for Abel and his offering. So Abel and his offering was good. It was probably plentiful. Abel took heart. Abel had a good spirit. He was happy. He was well off. He was doing what he needed to do. He didn't have no malfunctions like that. Okay? But Cain and his offering, he had no regard. So Cain became very angry and his countenance fell. So let's say you have two brothers and one brother is, getting praised because this brother has handled business, done what it's supposed to do. Then you got this other brother over here who irritated because he ain't did what he's supposed to do. Maybe Cain was not, maybe Cain was a bit lazy and he only did half of the day's work when Abel went full through and did everything he was supposed to do every single time. Maybe Cain was flipping and didn't care. Why would he be like that? Because of the serpent. We just went over it in the previous chapter. You should definitely go listen to that chapter. I know it's long, but it's extremely good. And it will help you understand why they could have popped out two different types of kids right there being where they were. How could they? That's how. For real. So the Most High said to Cain, why are you angry? And why has your countenance fallen? If you do well, will you not be accepted? And if you do not do well, sin is lurking at the door. Its desire is for you, but you must master it. So then we have an internal dialogue going on between, this is the internal part. This is the part that deals with the thing of saying, hey, what's going on with you, Cain? I'm going to tell you right now, y'all, for real, the spirit talks to you for real. It definitely does. What you going through, son? What you tripping about, son? Or you was wrong there, or you don't need to respond like that, or you don't need to feel like that, you don't need to talk that way, you don't need to walk that way, you don't need to go over there, you don't need to be with that person. What you tripping about? Why? Pick your face up. That has happened to me so many different times in my life, or when the Most High talks for real. So the Most High said to Cain, why are you angry and why is your countenance falling? If you do well, will you not be accepted? Or maybe was that his parents saying that to him? The spirit through his parents? If you do well, will you not be accepted? And if you do not do well, sin is lurking at the door. Its desire is for you, but you must master it. So what is sin? If you know what sin is, the division. Division is waiting at the door for you, Cain. But we know what Cain does already. Everybody does. We don't. That's a spoiler alert. Cain kills his brother. What did the Spirit say right there? It's waiting for you if you don't pick your conscience up, bro. What you going through? What you walking around irritated for? Because Abel got accepted and you didn't. Can't you tell? Won't you? Don't you know? If you do, Abel is out there handling business. What are you doing, Cain? What's your countenance down for? You didn't even put in the work that you were supposed to put in. And if you don't fix it, waiting at your door is the thing that's going to destroy you. And it did. Let's see what happened. Cain said to his brother Abel, let us go out into the field. Now you have a separation between when he gets this impression and then it's like, boom. Remember, this is Moses writing, okay? So a lot of people may be like, oh, who wrote all this down? How did he know? Moses would have known because this would have been way closer to Moses. So that's point in case. 1619 was over 400 years ago. We know about 1619 when the slaves being brought over here and docked onto and dropped off. We've been here for 400 years in 2019. There was a prophecy that said we was going to be in the place for 400 years. Now, we was in Egypt for longer than 400 years. But it said at that 400-year point, I'm about to start moving through y'all. And in 2019, oh yeah. Oh yes. And moving up into 2019, actually, because you would have to understand as far as time goes, is moving that way anyway. So you gotta think it's already the closer you get to 2019, the spirit start moving for real, for real. We're going to deal with a specific prophecy as it relates to the book of 2nd Ezra that deals with life popping up in the Dead Sea. That started happening around 2012, 2013. Well, when this life pops up in the Dead Sea, and I'm pretty sure it makes a reference. Oh, by the way, the Euphrates River drying up, that just happened recently too. All the things that said that when those things happen, I'm about to get evil together on the planet. All you need to do is be higher than it. We in that time right now. That's how come this vlog is going out right now. Because I promise you, when I get done with everything that I'm going to do on this vlog, it's going to take me about 1.5 years. When I get done with everything that I'm going to do on this vlog, when I go through everything that I'm going to go through, all of it will be out there. No, it won't be no more. Hey, they're not dealing with this truth anymore. Hey, they don't want to deal with the fact that God and Lord was names that the humans was using for, or labels that the humans was using for themselves before they ever used it for the Most High. Oh no, we gonna deal with all that. So it won't be no more them being able to say, oh, ain't nobody dealing with this. They lying about this. Half the reason most people don't want to deal with the scriptures is because of the lies that people don't want to deal with. So we got to deal with them, and the spirit knows it too. Drink you some water today if you haven't. All right. Excuse me. Excuse me again. All right. Cain said to his brother Abel, let us go out into the field. And there's a footnote here. Okay, so Greek, Syrian, compare VG, Vulgate. That's what Vulgate means. Compare VG. Remember what I just told you? The English translated from out of the Latin Vulgate. It was called the Vulgate, Latin. It was the Spaniards. So it says the Vulgate lacks lets us go to the field. It just says, let us go. Came to Abel and said, hey, come on, bro. Let's come with me, bro. Where we going? I'm like, come on, man. I can't talk with my brother. But he had bad intentions. That's where the serpent tricked. The serpent tricking, that's why. That's why Cain was like what it was. Because what the serpent did to the first humans, the first beings. Go listen to the previous chapter. That's why. That's why. That's why. Every human born after that had the chance and the mark to be on something totally different than what they were supposed to be on, because that was the energy of the serpent in the woman, and it attached to her molecularly, and it's in her, and then she showed it to the man, and then it was in him. And then so when they have children from there on, any of them children can be on something different, and they have to, then you're dealing with the seed from a negative place. So then you have to do the work, build it back up to zero, then show it morality, because it's being born already tripping. That was the issue, y'all. That was the issue. Dare I say that I believe that serpent also left something parasitically in Eve, because perhaps, like what I said, if it's what we theorized, that all that in that previous chapter that we said, what we theorized, then perhaps it could have left a certain piece of literal biological physical DNA on her that was part of him, that grew with her, and that became part of her process as well. And so it's just always been there. And so then that's why certain parasites have grown with us from the start. Because now I know this is gonna sound like kind of outlandish, but it just is what it is. But it's the truth. When you start reading books about parasites, it always, you will come across information to get to talk about they are the demons. And that the warning of the woe inhabitants of the earth, them demons is on the way, it meant your body. Just like what I said with Revelation, with the wormwood hitting the earth and then it being consumed. You know, fire purifies and cleans and make ready. Once something has been burned with fire, especially earth, and when it comes back, it's going to come back even more lush. Okay? So, yeah, we have to really deal with some of these things. I know, like, see, I have a religious background as far as it comes down to, like, my entryway into the scriptures, but once the Most High, because the Most High told me one day, he's like, look, I'm taking you out of these churches. I know that's different, and you were not commanded to do it before. So them times where you was not going where you should have been, and you was somewhere else tripping, you should have been in that church. you somewhere sinning, and you was supposed to be on that stage singing. You understand? So, but it told me, I'm taking you out because I'm about to show you some stuff. I need you to get to know me. They ain't teaching you me. So you got introduced to me through them, but nah, I need you to get to know me. So I'm taking you out. And so when he did, I really got to understand that a lot of these things we dealing with these scriptures, that they are scientific. It's history. Yeah, man, it's stuff in here, y'all. It's deep, y'all. It's deep for real. It's deep. So when we deal with these things and we deal with certain like metaphors, and like I know that previous chapter was really long. This one is not going to be that long at all. When we deal with these things, it's like you gotta know, like, for instance, just like what it just said about Cain. Look, up to now, if you've never heard what I said about Cain, you just always thought, dang, they do good with keeping a record. The name Cain wasn't even the name of the being. Who knows what the name meant or what it was? It just said that it was a name that meant I have produced a child with the help of the Most High God, or with the help of the Spirit, or with the help of the highest one. And the CAIN was a word or a sound in English. When you spell that out, Cain, it was a sound that was part of the larger word that meant I have that phrase. And that was the name, not Cain. Cain was just part of that phrase, which it probably was, and that's what they used, just like what they said about Eve. If that's your first time hearing it, then, well, that's your first time hearing it. And if this is your first time seeing me, well, This is the Lions Roar vlog. Hit the subscription button, hit the notification button, bell, or whatever it is. Share this video with people. Go back and listen to the other ones. And you definitely want to stick around because I'm reading through all of it. And I'm getting into all of it like I do right here. And we're going to talk about that truth on here. And we're not going to pull no punches neither. So whoever don't like it, you don't have to push play on the videos. You don't. As I'm not changing. So I'm not changing, bro. I'm never going to change. All right. So, well, I'm going to evolve, but I ain't stopping presenting the truth. A lot of people want me to stop. They don't like when I present the truth because I come through potent with it. See, like I call out the police and the gangsters. They don't like that because black folks feel like don't call out the gangsters because they respect the gang. Like what I said in the previous video about the women. Like, bro, how are y'all? What are y'all doing, bro? Y'all women, y'all are sacred. Stop playing. Y'all be the ones who out here regurgitating so much crap for real. And then you teaching your kids. It's like, come on, bro. The men, when I get on the men, I'm going to get on the men so much. So I think some of my most watched viewers is going to be women because the men ain't going to be trying to be around. Because men are the leaders. Adam did not have to fall. Adam could have been like, hey, nope. No. Like me now, let a chick try. No. But every man on the earth ain't like that. Most of them ain't. I'm just saying. But see, me, I know what committing adultery is like. I'm good. Listen, I've been single for how many? 10 years? Tried to start 2 relationships in that time. Well, I've talked to a host of different women and, thought it was going, but 2, I tried to start 2 relationships. Them the only 2 women I've been physical with since 2015. And I shouldn't even have messed with that. Like, it just is what it is. Had to go scrub up, repent, like, okay, well, Most High, look, man, I mean, and I don't necessarily, okay, let me not say that. So, everybody's has their different understanding with the spirit. But, yeah, man, like, it's just like, yo, we gotta do better, man. We gotta do better. Anyway, Cain. So Cain said to his brother Abel, let us go out into the field. And when they were in the field, Cain rose up against his brother Abel and killed him. Then the Most High said to Cain, where's your brother Abel? He said, I do not know. Am I my brother's keeper? Liar, lying. So you see, look at the deception. Look at the deception. Who else was deceptive? Who was the first being deceptive in the scriptures? Who was the first being deceptive in the scriptures? If we're paying attention, the serpent. Cain didn't get that from, it got passed on to his mama and daddy, but through his mama and daddy. But that came from the serpent. Remember, I will put a division between your seed and his. I believe that's one of the serpent seeds. See? You see what I'm saying? Because here's the thing, science again, science alert. I'm a science guy. Molecularly, the state of the man, the mind state, like the brain, literally where the mind of the man is when he spits that seed. And if that particular seed impregnates the woman, that seed is going to be born from the state of the mind of the man. Yeah, that's scientific. Go do your research. They don't like dealing with me because I present that truth. That's why I said what I said about the women in the last video. Bro, y'all are giving birth to the new humans and y'all are having babies with devils. It don't make sense. Then y'all got to do all this work to get them back up to where they supposed to be. Leave them demons alone. Leave them devils alone, bro. That's what they are. They're not men. They're monsters. Leave them alone. And just like the scriptures say, you get with them monsters, and then you have little baby monsters, and then they run around terrorizing everything. And now here you go, all stressed out. Anyway, and the Most High said, the daddy, the whole family, everybody's stressed out, trying to figure out what's wrong with come on, man. It's on us, y'all, at this point here now, it's on us. Ain't no more excuses. Ain't no more excuses. All that excuse junk is over. All that a new administration in here now, oh man, all that excuse junk is over, bro. Ain't nobody trying to hear it. You're gonna have to step your game up. That's it. That's your only option. There's no other option. Step your game up. There's no more excuses. There's no more reasons why. There's no more boo-hoo crying. Step your game up. And the Most High said, what have you done? Listen. Your brother's blood is crying out to me from the ground, and now you are cursed from the ground, which has opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand. His own family. When you till the ground, it will no longer yield to you its strength. You will be a fugitive and a wanderer on the earth. So right there, and he's going to be split mentally. He's not even going to be able to focus on that ground like he needs to, because he's going to be a wanderer because of what he just did to his brother. His mind will be split now. And now he's going to have to go through all these things extra for what he's done. Cain said to the Most High, my punishment is greater than I can bear. Today you have driven me away from the soil, and I shall be hidden from your face. I shall be a fugitive and a wanderer on earth, and anyone who meets me may kill me. Listen. Just First, you didn't even do what you were supposed to have did. Then second, you set up and hated and kept festering in your head. Then third, you literally killed your brother. And then you got the nerve to be complaining about your punishment? Yeah, you a serpent seed for real. Yeah, and that's why in the previous chapter, when it talks about the division between the two seeds, that's why. This is the manifestation. This is why the beings had to be very meticulous in following what the Spirit said to them. Because remember, only the man got taught about the trees. But that woman knew. But the serpent, she knew. But why did the serpent go to her, though? It wasn't because, I don't think it was because she was the weaker of them. I think it was because she had the molecular makeup that the serpent needed. Yeah, I'm just saying, that's just me personally, but we're going to keep it moving. Because yet and still, here we are now, right? Still trudging through, making sure that we deal with sin properly, deal with the spirit properly. Right? So then the Most High said to him, not so. Ain't nobody gonna do nothing to you. We got a footnote here. Or therefore, he gonna say to him, therefore, whoever kills Cain will suffer a sevenfold vengeance. And the Most High put a mark on Cain so that no one who came upon him would kill him. In other words, he knew. Like they knew that, hey, that's Cain. Then Cain went away from the presence of the Most High and settled in the land of Nod, east of Eden, or Q, the land of wandering. So what that also means is he went into the land and wandered. The east of where they began, he went into the land and wandered. He was a wanderer. What the Spirit said, you're going to wander. He wasn't going, meaning he was not going to be able to have stability in his life because of what he did to his brother. Nope, Spirit saying not say that, but I'm going to say this. There are, Punishments come down for when you enact things against your siblings. And yeah, that the Most High takes that serious. That's not a joke. That's all sin is taken serious, all of it. So that's part of sin. Okay. So, but when it comes down to them siblings, yeah, that ain't the move. You need to. That's not the move. It's just punishment comes down. All right. So he wandered. Cain knew his wife. Okay. So Cain found a woman. And she conceived and bore Enoch. And he built a city and named it Enoch after his son Enoch. This is not the prophet Enoch, I don't think. Now, this is not the prophet Enoch. I don't think it is. But this is just an early name, Enoch. To Enoch was born Irad. And Irad was the father of Mehujael and Mehujael. And there was no J in that language. So Mehujael was the father of Methushael. Forgive me if I brutal these names, because, you know. Methushael, the father of Lamech. Lamech took two wives. The name of one was Ada, and the name of the other Zia. Ada bore Jabal. He was the ancestor of those who live in tents and have livestock. Now they're starting to talk about generations coming. All right? His brother's name was Jubal. He was the ancestor of all those who play the lyre and pipe. Zia bore Tubal-Cain, who made all kinds of bronze and iron tools. The sister of Tubal-Cain was Naamah. Okay? Lamech said to his wives, Ada and Zia, hear my voice. You wives of Lamech, listen to what I say. I have killed a man for wounding me, a young man for striking me. If Cain is avenged sevenfold, truly Lamech 77-fold. So Lamech here, so Moses is basically making reference to Lamech. He made a phrase. He's phrasing Lamech, like he said. Lamech said this, so like this would be something that would have really stuck with them on a certain level, because Lamech said to his literal people, and it would have been in their family. So down the line, they would be they were great auditories. So they were great at auditory. So they were good at passing things down. They were good at talking, and they were good at transcribing and keeping record. So it was easy for them to remember things because they made sure their future generations were on point. We've lost that here. You know who the culture at large here follows? Whatever the media and the government say. That's what they do. Or whatever is at large in the community, just anything. They hybrids. They follow anything. They just anything. Just blind leading the blind. Okay? But back then, they were really good with passing down this information so we could deal with, hey, they took it serious. Like, man, Cain was a murderer. And so Lamech is saying, look, I took out a man for wounding me. But if somebody messes with me, it's going to be sevenfold, just like with Cain, because he like, man, I took somebody, he wounded me, and I got back at him, and he died. Maybe he didn't mean to kill the dude. And he like, look, if somebody come get me, it's going to be just like Cain. That's what, okay? So Adam knew his wife. It goes on. So Adam knew his wife again, and she bore a son and named him Seth. For she said, the Most High God has appointed, or let's look at this footnote. The verb in Hebrew resembles the word for Seth. So again, y'all, here we have again a name that is not the name. So we have to deal with that. It's not the literal name, y'all. Okay? It's just like what I said about the movie Nope. When he named the being in the movie Jean Jacket. Because they would have kept saying, well, that thing, that beast, that whatever. So let's give it a name. So you can have reference point. We got to keep trying to explain to people what it is, right? So that name Seth was not the name. Cain was not the name. Eve was not the name. Adam was not the name. Now, Moses is a translation, Masha or Moshe, if you will. Okay? So you just got to know that. Adam knew his wife again, and she bore him a son and named him Seth, for she said, the Most High has appointed me another child instead of Abel, because Cain killed him. That's hard. That's why are these humans born like that? Because of the division from the beginning. Quite literally. That's how I feel. Anyway, let's keep moving. And a lot of people would say, well, it's because of the choice all of a sudden. Yeah, that's part of it. But I believe that's why the curse was spoken the way that it was spoken, because he's talking about the seed of a different being, male being, and the woman. For instance, I mean, come on, y'all see it, right? That's just like if you have a woman who has two different kids from two different males. That's why he would turn to the woman and the serpent to get, or want the woman and this one over here and say, ABC 1, 2, 3, ABC 1, 2, 3, ABC 1, 2, 3. And then he would turn to the woman and Adam and say, ABC 1, 2, 3, ABC 1, 2, 3, ABC 1, 2, 3. Right? Okay, but maybe that just don't make no sense to nobody but me, right? Maybe I'm just the only one on the entire planet who who looks at that whole apple and the fruit and the image. It just seems too Roman to me. I'm sorry, okay? So to Seth also a son was born, and he named him Enosh, Enosh. And at that time, the people began to invoke the name. Now it says the Lord here. I'm gonna tell you, this is and that's it. And then chapter 5, and then we're done. Okay, look, I'm gonna tell you right now. The Lord, it ain't the Lord. His name ain't God or Lord. Okay? It's a reference point, just like what I just said about Jean Jacket, the movie Nope. They wouldn't have known what the being's name or what it is or how it maybe it references itself or the hierarchy of the thing, because it was something new to them, foreign, right? So they named it to be able to understand it. But like the Lord, no. It said, look. It says, to Seth also a son was born, and he named him Enosh. At that time, I didn't really have to read that one, but at that time, people began to invoke the name of the Lord. You English, that's not what he said. That's not what happened. That's not what Moses wrote down. It's not what Masha wrote down. It's not what he wrote down. Sorry. He would have said Yahweh or Elohim or the highest one, Elahi. Yeah, or Jehovah, or just the spirit, we know it's something. It's something. It's something. We hearing these stories about Cain. We hearing the stories passed down from the first man, first woman, and their children and they kind of telling us certain things, and then that's how Moses was even able to write all this. A lot of people want to be like, oh, the Caucasian made it up. Yeah, right. Okay. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. You are wrong. I don't even argue with them people no more because it's delusional. It's like the quote, you don't argue with fools because they drag you down to their level and they beat you with experience. The key to that quote is, if you're arguing with a fool, you're the bigger fool and you don't even know what you're talking about because they don't know what they're talking about. Why are you arguing with them? I don't argue with them people no more. And them white man, ain't that they made that? Okay. Yeah, they got their hands on it and they tricked it because they don't want you to know the truth about it. But you're gonna completely throw away your whole birthright just because You think you right. That right there, invoke the name of the Lord. Nah, Yahweh, Yahweh, Elohim, Elahi, the highest one, the spirit of the highest. Probably at that point, I don't even know if they even would have even known. They just would have knew it's something. And eventually, when they made their reference to it, it would have been the Most High, because eventually that's what it would have been. Okay? So that's it for this one. We right there at that 40-minute point, which is right where we need to be. I know that last one was an hour and a half, but it's worth it. Go listen to it. I know I deviate a lot. I deal with a lot of different concepts in there that's like, maybe you haven't heard, maybe you have. But if you research everything, what I'm saying in there, you will be hard pressed to not find information about it. If you research what I'm saying in that previous video, you're going to find all sorts of information about the account of Adam and Eve in the beginning. And literally, you know why the Quran deals with it why the Quran says they were on a different planet. But you have to understand, the Quran has the Torah in it. Okay, why? Because of Ishmael, Abraham's first son, is the progenitor, is the one who spits out the seeds, who then have more seeds, and they have more, and they grow into the Middle Eastern cultures. They're Hebrew. Muslim is Hebrew. The problem is the Nation of Islam and the Roman Catholics mixing up with the Nation of Islam to deceive, just like Muhammad deceived. But they don't like dealing with that, though. They don't like dealing with that. The Middle Eastern cultures are Hebrews. They're cousins to the Israelites. Yup, sure are. Ishmael, that's how. Because of Abraham's first son, who gets kicked out. Remember with the slave woman Hagar? Yeah. Because Sarah gets ticked off because Abraham's probably spending time with Hagar and his son, because the Most High told Sarah, you supposed to have a kid, and Sarah wanted to be disobedient and ignorant. Like I said, man, sometimes y'all women got to really press in, because y'all be trying to just ignore anything. Y'all don't be really, y'all think y'all be like so on this like deep thing that y'all be on, and y'all don't be, bro. Y'all just be making some of the wrong decisions sometimes, just because I really think you just be caught in your head and you just want to be selfish and you don't even care. That's what happened with Sarah. And so Hagar, got the first blessing in the inheritance. Ishmael got it. That's why Abu Dhabi is so rich. Them Ishmael's people. That's a rich land over there. Them people is paid. Contrary to popular belief, even though like they try and put it all over the media, like they're so war torn, those be little isolated places that be like that. And that be because the same people who advertising it is the same ones going over there bombing them places. They ain't going to Abu Dhabi doing that junk though. I promise you that one. We're not going to get into that though, because I'm not about to get my videos flagged. I've learned my lesson fully. I had my TikTok up to 33,000 people in less than a month, and they booted me off TikTok for 2 years straight. And right then and there, man, I was ready to start making, it was right there for me, y'all. And they definitely booted me. But I'm going to tell you right now, that's why I know they know who some of us are. Because they like, oh, we ain't letting him. We're not letting him get that 33,000 people. Boot him off of there right now before he get to, because I would have definitely made it to 1 million easy. I would be one of them with 1 million, and you'd be like, who is he? Like, my page was growing so fast that I could, excuse me, every half day I was getting 1,000. Like I was capping off at followers. I couldn't even get new followers every day. They had to wait to follow me the next day, and it was like I was getting every time I signed into TikTok, all my notifications was on 99 plus, 99 plus, 99 plus. Messages, all that stuff. It's just crazy. Anyhow, and that was me just telling the truth on there too, y'all. For real. I ain't doing all that ratchet, getting on video and dancing and talking about the drill rap stuff and trying to act like I'm that guy, man. Man, please, bro. I'm not doing that for no freaking clout and views. You better miss me with that. No, I'm not that guy at all. I ain't never been that guy. I've always been who I am, and I've just always been able to have the passion and the fire go out from who I am, and that is good enough for me. I don't need to be I don't need to be the next whack 100. I don't need to be the next Hassan Campbell, bro. I just don't. I don't. That's not who I am. Anyway, thank you for listening to this video. If you like the information, if you like the content, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. I'll be laughing at myself sometimes, man. Y'all share this information with somebody. Definitely come back. We're going to keep pushing through this thing. It's kind of crazy right now. We on the back end, so I'm going to just say this. It's kind of crazy right now because I already read through this. And right now, I literally want to sit here and I literally want to do the whole book of Genesis right now so I can hurry up and get back to where I was, but I'm not going to do that to myself. I bash these contents, y'all, so probably next time you see me, I'm going to look a little different. But y'all be blessed, man. And y'all keep coming back, listening. We going to tell this truth. We going to spit this truth. We're going to get down to the bottom. If you always wanted to know what the scripture was talking about, but you was afraid to ask certain things, you was afraid to say you felt some type of way about white Jesus, you was afraid to say that you felt some type of way about the term God and Lord after you realized that the English called themselves God and Lord first, if you was feeling some type of way about the fact that maybe it make women feel like they supposed to sit back and shut up and don't say nothing, which is not true at all because things are being taken out of context, well, we're going to deal with all that. We're going to deal with everything. All of it. This the place you want to be to deal with it. Holla at your boy. Peace.